Welcome to Veterans Field on a warm April evening as we get set to bring you District 17 5A baseball action between the University High School Trojans and the Waco High Lions. Hello again, everybody. This is Pat Atkins, and we're bringing you tonight two teams hoping to wrap up the first half of district play on a positive note. The coaches have finished their meeting with the umpires at home plate, and we're going to turn it over to public address announcer Jerry Williams for tonight's lineups and the national anthem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Waco ISD's Veterans Memorial Field for tonight's 17 5A matchup between the Waco High Lions and your University Trojans. When we call your name, if you would please go to your respective foul lines for introductions. Starting with the Waco High Lions, we've got number 1, the shortstop, Chris Garcia. Second baseman, number 4, Bryson Shavers. Third baseman, number 10, Adrian Gonzalez. Left fielder, number 9, D.D. Norwood. Tonight's designated hitter is number 12, Eduardo Lopez. Pitcher, number 17, Tyler McRae. Catcher, number 5, D'Angelo Martinez. First baseman, 18, Chris Deo. Right fielder, number 6, Xavier White. Center fielder, number 3, Dylan Flores. Number 20, John Reyes. Number 16, Paul Gilmore. Number 17, Isaiah Villarreal. Number 22, Ronnie Tristan. Number 11, Jordan Salinas. Number 2, Jared Fuller. Number 13, Isaiah Ramirez. Number 25, Donovan Weaver. And number 8, Donovan Birch. Waco High Lions head coach Sil Ross, assisted by Andrew Hurtado. And now your University Trojans. Leading off the Trojans is the designated hitter tonight, number 6, Joe Gutierrez. Number 10, catcher Julian Locke. Tonight's pitcher is number 2, Fabian Cervantes. Shortstop, number 11, Andrew Gonzalez. Left fielder, number 16, Andrew Rodriguez. First baseman, number 18, Gabriel Garza. Right fielder, number 20, Dayton Howard. Second baseman, number 5, Jordan Rodriguez. Center fielder, number 12, Abraham Franco. Third baseman, number 8, Marcus Estrada. Number 22, Robert Garcia. Number 1, Darius Guerrero. Number 7, David Pena. Number 19, Isaac Perez. Number 9, Jordan Perez. And number 4, Fernando Torres. University head coach Kevin Compton, assisted by Esther Martinez. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time to honor America, would you please rise for our national anthem?
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the pitcher's mound throwing out tonight's first pitch for University High School, Jerry Williams. He's a graduate of Southwest Texas State University and currently is 28 years as athletic trainer in Waco ISD. Let her rip.
And there you have longtime athletic trainer Jerry Williams throwing out the first pitch for tonight's contest as the University Trojans take infield, and we'll get underway here in just a little bit. There's a look of Jerry as he heads to the dugout after one pitch. That is the same Jerry Williams who will be our public address announcer, so as he exits off camera, he'll take a helicopter back up here to the press box, and we'll get underway in just a few moments. As we said, this will be the final game of the first half of district play for both the Lions and the Trojans. The Lions enter tonight's contest with a district record of 1 win and 4 losses. University still looking for its first win in district play. And they will start on the mound tonight, Fabian Cervantes. This will be Fabian's 6th appearance for the Trojans, his 5th start. And he enters the night with 8 walks, 24 strikeouts, an ERA of 4.20, and a record of no wins and 1 loss in district play. As there's a look at Waco High's leadoff hitter, the sophomore shortstop, Chris Garcia, getting some final instructions from Coach Ross. And the catcher has thrown down to second base, and we're ready to get underway here in the final game of District 17 5A's first half. As we said, it's a warm night at Veterans Field. The temperature at game time is near 85 degrees. There's a light southerly wind out of the south at about 13 miles per hour, and the humidity is up over 50%, so it is a warm evening at Veterans Field as we wrap up the first half of district play. And stepping to the plate for the Lions is Chris Garcia. He'll take the first pitch for a ball. Chris is just a sophomore in his second year starting in the middle infield for the Lions. When he graduates, he tends to go to college, play a little ball, and hopes to become an athletic trainer, much like our own Jerry Williams, who has now settled back in behind the mic in the press box and is ready to take over as your public address announcer here in the stadium tonight. 2 balls and 1 strike to Garcia. As Cervantes comes set. Garcia offers that the pitch low and away, trying to put a bunt down. Because he offered at it, the count will go even at 2-2. Chris enters the night actually tied for second on the team in RBIs, which is a little unusual for your leadoff hitter. Scored 5 runs on the season. This will actually be his 44th plate appearance for the Lions this year. Second only to Adrian Gonzalez. Garcia takes that one where Jordan Rodriguez moves to his right, throws over to Gabriel Garza, who comes off the bag to make the catch, take in the throw, and Garcia will be safe on the air at first. Looks like they're going to score that in E4. And that'll bring to the plate Bryson Shavers. Shavers actually leading the Lions this year with a batting average of .333. Even more impressive is his on-base percentage of .500, which means right at 50% of the time that he steps up to the plate, he's getting on base for the Lions, which is important to do near the top of the order. after Cervantes throws over to hold Garcia close. He delivers, and Shavers will take that one. Cervantes flips it over to Garza to retire Shavers on the first pitch. But Garcia will go down to second, and with one out, the Lions have a runner in scoring position, and Adrian Gonzalez stepping to the plate. As we said, Gonzalez leads the Lions in plate appearances with 47. And at this point in the game, what's most important for Waco High fans, he's also leading the team in RBIs, coming into tonight with 7. And has 5 extra base hits, all doubles, which is what the Lions will be looking for here. Although as fast as Garcia is, they may be able to score him with a well-placed single in the gap. Just underway at Veterans Field between the Trojans as Cervantes steps off to hold Garcia at second. One of the themes you'll hear throughout the night is the youth on both squads. University, after making the playoffs for 3 consecutive years, graduated a lot of seniors last year. And Coach Kevin Compton looks to rebuild and get some players some experience tonight. As we said, the Trojans looking for their first win in district play and have made a few shakeups to the lineup tonight from when we saw them earlier in the season. Cervantes pitch just off the plate, and the count goes full to Adrian Gonzalez. Adrian says his favorite baseball memory was getting to go to the college combine back this past summer. And he hopes to major in sports medicine at the University of Texas. Adrian, another one who's just a sophomore, pops that one up as the right fielder moves all the way into the dirt, but Dayton Howard brings it in. Said the wind blowing in a little bit, so the outfield wasn't playing too deep, but you don't usually see a right fielder run all the way into the edge of the dirt to field the fly ball. But he called off Jordan Rodriguez, and he brought it in successfully, and now with 2 outs, Dede Norwood will step to the plate. Norwood, the lone senior in the starting lineup tonight for the Lions. His twin sister Adair Norwood also plays left field for the Lady Lions softball team. Darius remembers getting his first high school home run last season for the Lions. As we've mentioned previously, he'll be attending Texas Lutheran University in the fall to play football. Cervantes looks back at Garcia, delivers, and Jordan Rodriguez moves to his right and overplayed that one, which will allow Garcia to come around and score. Looked like the ball took a funny hop at the last minute, just kind of kicked to Rodriguez's left. And he couldn't get a glove on it, and Norwood will be safe at first. And the Lions have 1 runner in here in the top of the first. And designated hitter Eduardo Lopez stepping to the plate. Eduardo, a junior for the Lions. Plans to major in speech pathology when he graduates a year from now. Throw over to Garza. Norwood back in plenty of time. They did call a balk, which allowed Norwood to go down to second. And now Cervantes comes set. Delivers with a strike to Eduardo Lopez. Lopez enters tonight batting .226. with 7 hits and 4 runs on the season for the Lions. Takes that one up the middle. Rodriguez fields that one cleanly and fires over to retire the side. But the Lions score a run on no hits, 1 man left on base. And at the midpoint of the first inning, the Waco High Lions lead the University Trojans by a score of 1-0. Defensively, the Lions will start Tyler McCray on the mound tonight. And to lead off the first, the Trojans will send Joe Gutierrez, Julian Locke, and Fabian Cervantes to the plate. There's a good look at McCray. Tyler enters the night having pitched 17 2/3 innings. With an ERA of 1.19. You heard that correctly. And will be making his 7th appearance for the Lions. On the year, McCray has 15 strikeouts, only 6 walks. And will be looking to keep the Trojans off the base as the Lions hope, as both teams hope, to wrap up first half play with a win tonight and get set to try to make some movement in the standings in the second half of the season. As Martinez fires down to Garcia, the infield will meet on the mound, and we'll get underway here in the bottom of the first with Joe Gutierrez stepping to the plate for the Trojans. Joe, a junior. And is actually DHing tonight for the third baseman Marcus Estrada. And first pitch right down the middle, and McCray ahead in the count, 0-1. To designated hitter Joe Gutierrez. McCray misses just low with that one, and the count goes even at 1-1. Gutierrez enters the night batting .278. And takes that one foul into the deep and wide foul territory here at Veterans Field. As we reset, count of 1 ball, 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter, Joe Gutierrez. And that one comes inside, comes off of Gutierrez's helmet and flies all the way back to the backstop. And on the hit by pitch, the Trojans have a runner aboard and will send catcher Julian Locke to the plate.
Catcher number 10, Julian Locke.
Julian is actually tied for third on the Trojans with respect to RBI. As he squares up, pulls back, and the count goes to 1-0. There's a look at Joe Gutierrez at first as we get set. McCray comes set, delivers. Runner's not going, but D'Angelo Martinez fires behind him to hold him close. Gutierrez back in plenty of time. Something we've seen both teams do effectively this year is throw behind the runner at first base and occasionally catch a runner sleeping, but Gutierrez had his head in the game, got back in time, and Martinez looks that way again. But there's no throw. McCray now in a little bit of a hole at 3 balls and no strikes, with a runner on here in the bottom of the first. McCray comes inside, and after the leadoff man got on base after getting hit by the pitch, Julian Locke draws the free pass, and with 2 runners on, pitcher Fabian Cervantes will step to the plate for the Trojans. Cervantes leading the team with 5 RBIs on the season, an on-base percentage of 4.10, batting .281. Our courtesy runner has entered the game for catcher Locke. That is Darius Guerrero at first. Runner's going down to third, and the throw down skips past Adrian Gonzalez, and we've got a tie ball game as Darius Guerrero will go down to second, and Joe Gutierrez will score, and it's 1-1 with no outs, and there's no timeout yet. Nobody covering third, and the runner goes on down to third. A little bit of confusion on the infield, but it looks like Adrian Gonzalez walked the ball back to Tyler McCray, leaving the base uncovered, and now Coach Ross is going to come and ask for clarification. It's clearly the defense thought there was a timeout. He's going to toss the ball to the umpire, who assures him that no, ball was in play. The runner's safe at third, and with 1 run in, McCray will now face Fabian Cervantes. Gutierrez with a stolen base at third. Came around as the throw skipped out to Didi Norwood and left. And your courtesy runner Guerrero went down to second. That one just foul. And the count goes to 1-2. Cervantes takes that one to center. A lot of territory covered by Dylan Flores as he tries to slide underneath it, but it hits the dirt, and the Trojans have taken a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the first. Cervantes with an RBI single. It looked like Flores thought maybe that one was going to go a little deeper. The wind's blowing in, knocked it down a little bit. Flores made a good effort to slide underneath it as the ball was diving down, but clearly hit the ground, and the runner scores, and Andrew Gonzalez will step up to the plate for the Trojans. Throw down to Deo at first. And David Pena has come in to courtesy run for your pitcher, Fabian Cervantes. Back-to-back courtesy runners for the Trojans. As McCray comes set and catches the outside corner, and the count goes even at 1-1. So you look at Pena over McCray's shoulder. McCray's going to fire to Garcia at second for 1. Fires over to Deo for the double play. 1-6-3 as McCray fielded that ball cleanly. Heads up play to get the courtesy runner Pena at second. Garcia turned the double play and retires Gonzalez at first. And left fielder Andrew Rodriguez will step up to the plate with 2 outs. Nice double play turned by Garcia. He got it out of his glove quickly and made a nice throw across to Deo. Just underway in the bottom of the first. University High leading the Waco Lions 2-1. And McCray again painting the outside edge. Goes ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Rodriguez, just a freshman, starting in left field for the Trojans. Swing and a miss, and McCray ends the inning on a strikeout and with a nice double play by Garcia for the first two. But the University High Trojans scored 2 runs on 1 hit, and at the end of 1, our score, University High 2, Waco High 1. We'll be back with the second inning right after this on WISD TV. The Lions will send D'Angelo Martinez, Chris Deo, and Xavier White to the plate as we get underway here in the top of the second. University High leading Waco High by a score of 2-1. And the catcher, D'Angelo Martinez, stepping to the plate. Martinez leading the Lions this year. Check that. Second on the team in his on-base percentage, hoping to get on base as the leadoff hitter here in the top of the second. A warm night at Veterans Field. A slight breeze blowing straight in. Nice pitch by Cervantes. And the count goes even at 1-1. Just off the plate, the count goes to 2-1. D'Angelo enters the night with an average of 207 and fouls that one off out of play. Hard to believe that D'Angelo Martinez has been behind the dish for the Lions for seems like a long time, but still an underclassman for the Waco High baseball team. Looked at that one and the count goes full, 3-2. And Cervantes will walk D'Angelo Martinez. And the first baseman, Chris Deo, will step to the plate. Another courtesy runner enters the game. This time it will be Donovan Birch entering for the catcher, D'Angelo Martinez. It's a good look at Donovan. And your batter, your first baseman, Chris Deo. Chris, another of the sophomores starting for Waco High, as he fouls that one off. Chris said his favorite memory of this year has been getting that win in their first district game as he fouls that one off. As we said, there's a lot of foul territory at Veterans Field, but Gabriel Garza just ran out of room as he chased that one over just almost to the Waco High dugout, just past it. Yeah, Cervantes will come set with Donovan Birch still down at first. Deo hopes to attend the University of Texas or TCU, and another one who's interested in doing athletic training. So that ball goes to second baseman Rodriguez, who's had a lot of activity tonight. Covered a lot of ground to his left, fielded it clean, tossed it up to Garza to retire Deo on the 4-3 ground out. Birch goes down to second, so the Lions do have a runner in scoring position as Xavier White steps to the plate. Xavier, a junior. As Coach Ross wants to talk with the umpire, as they're going to check the ball apparently. And the umpire decides to go ahead and switch the ball out with Cervantes. and tosses that one up to Coach Ross, who will now throw it over to Coach Compton, and we'll get underway. Donovan Birch down at second base, as D'Angelo Martinez led the inning off with a walk. And Birch, the courtesy runner for the catcher Martinez. As the pitcher steps off the mound, now we'll get set to toe the rubber. And we'll get a pitch delivered here to Xavier White. As we step off the mound again.
There you go. Hey, I like that. Go.
As Donovan Birch gets a fairly good lead down at second, just off to the right of the camera. And the pitch goes outside and the count goes to 1-0. Your batter, Xavier White, hopes to attend Abilene Christian University, and as you'd expect, his favorite hobby is playing sports. Made a fantastic diving catch as a freshman for the Lions 2 years ago. And is one of the several Waco ISD students taking advantage of the Advanced Manufacturing Academy. Go, 2-0 to Xavier White. And that one misses low. And now White ahead in the count, 3-0. Cervantes is going to have to battle all the way back with a runner in scoring position. And there's a 3-0 strike, as White was taking all the way, obviously. And White takes that one over into foul territory, where it's going to go out of play over the head of our own Tyrell McSpadden over there on the deck. Xavier enters tonight batting .286, having scored 4 runs on the season, 6 hits. And we'll try to get his 4th RBI as the runner's going, and White fouls that one off, and the count's full at 3-2 to the junior Xavier White. Kind of a slow pace here early at Veterans Field. Both pitchers being conscious of the base runners, trying to hold them on. Waco High scored 1 run in the top of the first. University put 2 on the board in the bottom of the inning, and that's where we stand as Cervantes steps off. Get Birch back to second. Full count to Xavier White. Cervantes delivers on a swing and a miss. And White goes down swinging on strikes. And with 2 outs, center fielder Dylan Flores will step to the plate. It's a last name that will be familiar to University High fans, as his older brother R.C. Flores was a 4-year starter in center field for the Trojans, and now Dylan is starting in center field for the Lions. In fact, as Flores takes that one out of play behind the University dugout. In the final game between these two teams last season, Flores and Flores both started in center field, with RC getting one of his last starts for the University High Trojans, and Dylan getting one of his first starts on varsity for the Waco Lions. Ball down in the dirt. Julian Locke does a nice job of keeping the breaking ball in front of him. And the count's even at 1-1. said, a lot of these young men play on select and traveling squads. Dylan actually took a trip all the way to Missouri last summer to play in the Elite World Series. Enjoys history, but hopes to major in athletic training, as Jerry Williams seems to have been an inspiration to a number of these players on both teams. Catcher looks down, gets the sign, checks his wristband, and we're set. Cervantes again jumps off the plate, looks down to second. Birch not going anywhere. And once again, we'll reset with a count of 1-2 and 2 outs to Dylan Flores. Cervantes delivers. That one skips away from Locke. And the speedy Birch will go down to third. And the Lions have the tying run 90 feet away, as courtesy runner Donovan Birch takes third on what I guess will be scored a wild pitch. As he comes back and gets a nice strikeout, back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning for Fabian Cervantes. The Lions strand one runner down at third base. And at the end of 1.5, our score remains 2-1 in favor of University High. In the bottom of the second, the Trojans will send to the plate Garza, Howard, and Rodriguez. And we'll be back with the bottom of the second right after this on WISD TV. First baseman Gabriel Garza will get us started here in the bottom of the second, with University High leading Waco High by a score of 2-1. Garza takes that one to the third baseman Gonzalez, who fields it cleanly, throws across to Deo, and on one pitch, Tyler McCray records his first out of the inning on the 5-3 ground out, which will bring to the plate number 20, right fielder Dayton Howard. Dayton enters the game hitting 143, but a tough out. Very patient at the plate and has an on-base percentage of .455. Fouls that one off out of play, and the count goes even at 1-1 to right fielder Dayton Howard. Dayton is a senior for you, the Trojans. Says his favorite fruit is chicken Alfredo, as he takes that one off the knob of the bat, foul. And the count goes even at 1-2. When he graduates, Dayton would like to attend Baylor. And in addition to playing for the right field for the baseball team, plays for the Trojan basketball team as well. Two balls, two strikes. That one just misses for McCray. And the count goes even to right fielder Dayton Howard. Swing and a miss. Tyler McCray records his second strikeout of the game. And another sophomore, Jordan Rodriguez, the second baseman, will step to the plate for University High. Jordan, another one who's a tough out with an on-base percentage of .500 on the season. Mainly on the strength of 9 walks. He scored 4 runs on the year and fouls that one off to the backstop. It goes down in the count 0-1. I've had the opportunity to actually coach Jordan Rodriguez over at Lake Air Little League. Coached with his dad 1 year. Just a great family. His mom is an employee, one of our outstanding teachers in Waco ISD. I think his dad now is coaching a little softball. He's got a younger sister who's playing. 1-1 to second baseman Jordan Rodriguez. As McCray misses high with that one. And Jordan comes set 2-1, and McCray keeps that one at the knees for a strike, and the count goes even at 2-2. Misses outside with that one, and the count's full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jordan Rodriguez trying to see if he can get something going with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. McCray misses again, low and away, and Rodriguez does draw a walk, his 10th walk of the season. And with a runner at first, center fielder Abraham Franco will step to the plate.
Abraham, relax, baby, relax. Get you a hit now. Come on now. Relax and drive it.
And that one will be fouled off towards the Waco High dugout. And Rodriguez will come back to first.
Hold up, be ready.
The look of McCray with Rodriguez getting the lead off behind him. McCray sets, delivers. D'Angelo thinks about throwing down there, but decides better of it. And your count's even at 1-1. Big Tyler McCray misses just low. And the count goes to 2-1. Tyler, another one who played at Lake Air Little League. Got to play for his father, who actually won the Major League title over there. As McCray will let that one get away from him. And his second hit batter of the game will send Franco down to first, Rodriguez down to second. And the Trojans will go back up to the top of the order as Joe Gutierrez comes up. Joe was the other player who was hit by a pitch back in the first and actually came around to score for the Trojans with the tying run. The university then plated David Guerrero, the courtesy runner, to take this 2-1 lead. Rodriguez at second, Franco at first. And Joe Gutierrez at the plate with a count of 0-1. Gutierrez hits that one to Garcia at short, who falls to his knees, and no play to be made on the infield hit. Garcia moved to his right, dropped to his knees to keep it in front of him, but the speedy Gutierrez was already at the bag, and there was no play to be made. And now with the bases loaded, catcher Julian Locke will step to the plate. Julian drew a walk at his first plate appearance, came around to score. Ball low and away again from pitcher Tyler McCray. McCray, a senior for the Lions. Says his favorite Little League memory is actually that team that his father did manage to the championship. He remembers pitching a shutout, and during the course of that shutout had 3 three-pitch innings, which is obviously just about as good as you can do when you're standing on the bump. McCray delivers, and that one fouled off by Locke. McCray hoping to extend his baseball career either down at Temple College or maybe UTA up in Arlington. Already been accepted down at Temple as Coach Ross brings some more baseballs out to our plate umpire. A couple of concerns with the balls tonight as he sends most of them back to the dugout with Coach Ross. And Julian Locke will now dig in at 1-2. McCray's pitch inside as Locke fouls it off. Ball seemed to run in on the batter just a little bit. Looked like it sort of a tailing fastball ran inside, but Locke was able to get a stick on it, foul it off, and fouls that one the other way. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Julian Locke, as the umpire calls to the University dugout for baseballs. Coach fires one down to Martinez. Said there were, Coach Sol Ross walked out with about a half dozen baseballs. And the umpire picked one of them and sent the rest of them back. And McCray misses low and away, and the count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the second, with University leading Waco High by a score of 2-1. That ball goes right past Deo at first into right field. Xavier White gets it in quickly, but 2 runs will score. And on the RBI single by Julian Locke. As we will get a courtesy runner. Once again, it will be Darius Guerrero. And with the bases loaded, Julian Locke pulls through with a 2 RBI single. And Joe Gutierrez at second, Locke at first, and the Trojans have extended their lead to 4-1 here in the bottom of the second. Cervantes, the pitcher, picked up an RBI in the last inning before being retired on a double play turned by shortstop Chris Garcia. As that one gets past Martinez and both runners will advance, and suddenly University is in position to potentially take a commanding lead early in the second, leading 4-1 with 2 runners in scoring position. They've done all this damage with 2 outs against the senior Tyler McCray. McCray delivers, and Cervantes will foul that one off out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to pitcher Fabian Cervantes. As McCray steps off, let's make sure that Gutierrez doesn't get too big a lead down there at third. You see Guerrero down at second base. Oh, I'm sorry, that's your runner at third. That's Gutierrez. And McCray once again steps off. Tyler now toeing the rubber, gets his sign, comes set, checks his runners. And that ball got inside, hit sharply to Chris Deo, who fields it, steps on the bag for the 3rd out. But the University Trojans score a couple of runs on 3 hits, 2 men left on base. And at the end of 2, your new score, University 4, Waco High 1. In the top of the 3rd, the Lions will be back up at the top of the order with Garcia, Shavers, and Gonzalez. And we'll bring you the top of the 3rd right after this on WISD TV. As we get underway in the top of the 3rd, University High leading Waco High by a score of 4-1. Leadoff hitter Chris Garcia coming to the plate for the Lions. 0 for 1 on the night, reached on an error back in the first and scored the Lions' only run. Takes that one for a ball. And Garcia ahead in the count 1-0. We have, looks like John Reyes warming up in the bullpen for the Lions. Yep, number 20, John Reyes. We'll see if they make a pitching change. McCray gave up 3 hits in the last inning and a couple of runs as the Trojans extended their lead to 4-1. Good look at the field as the sun is setting and we're now under dusk, which at times on these breezy evenings can play some illusions on the fielders, particularly on those high pop-ups. Little action down in the bullpen. It's send somebody down, I guess, to protect the pitcher and the catcher and to change gloves out. Got a break in the action. Now everybody looks like they've come set down in the bullpen for the Lions. Umpire looked up, noticed they didn't have anybody protecting Reyes, and so Isaiah Ramirez went down there to make sure he doesn't get hit by a sharply hit foul ball. 3 balls, 1 strike to Garcia, who takes that one right back to the pitcher. And Fabian Cervantes gloves it for the first out. And Bryson Shavers will come to the plate. As we said, Bryson leading the Lions this year, both in batting average and on-base percentage. Grounded out in his first at bat, back in the first. And takes first pitch for a strike.
Hey, work that plate, too. Work that plate, be smart.
Bryson engaged in a number of activities his junior year. Had a role in the musical that Waco High did when they produced Tarzan earlier this spring. Also was on the Waco High one-act play team, or cast. And actually did a little CX debate for the Lions in District 17 5A's academic meet, as the Waco High squads got 3rd and 4th and actually won the debate title in district this year. Bryson fouls that one off, out of play, to just past the control truck. One and two to Bryson Shavers. Mentioned that he just missed advancing in the debate competition, UIL debate competition, with a swing and a miss. Bryson, when he graduates, ultimately hopes to become a lawyer. But no reason to argue with that one as he goes down swinging for the second out, and third baseman Adrian Gonzalez will step to the plate for the Lions. Gonzalez flied out to right back in the first, as he swings underneath that pitch from Cervantes, and the count goes to 0-1. Cervantes comes set, and it's a pop-up to shallow right, and the right fielder Dayton Howard again covers a lot of ground as he moves underneath that one, fields it cleanly for the third out. So the Lions go in order in the top of the third. At the end of 2.5, your score remains University High 4, Waco 1. We'll be back right after this on WISD TV. With a 4-1 lead, the Trojans will send Andrew Gonzalez to the plate in the bottom of the third. Due up for the University High Trojans in the bottom of the third will be Andrew Gonzalez, Andrew Rodriguez, and Gabriel Garza. Gonzalez grounded into the double play back in the first. And is down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. It's that one right back to the pitcher. McCray flips it over to Deo for the out. McCray flashing some leather there for the Lions on the bouncer as he turns the 1-3 out for the first out of the inning. And Andrew Rodriguez will step to the plate for the Trojans. University looking to pick up their first district win as they scored 2 runs in the bottom of the second. Actually had 2 additional runners in scoring position, but stranded those. But have opened up a little bit of a cushion here against Waco High, 4-1 in the bottom of the third. McCray misses outside with that one. Rodriguez enters the night with an impressive batting average of .345. A slugging percentage that matches it, also at .345. With 10 hits on the season. 2 balls, 2 strikes to left fielder Andrew Rodriguez as McCray again misses low and away. And it's a full count. McCray steps, delivers, and gets his 3rd strikeout of the game. As Andrew Rodriguez goes down swinging, and Gabriel Garza will come to the plate for the Trojans. Gabriel 0 for 1 tonight, grounding out to third last inning. Entered the night batting .346 with an on-base percentage of .414, with 5 runs on the season. One ball, no strikes to Gabriel Garza. Gabriel, a senior, playing first base tonight. Somewhat of a utility player. It's pitched some for the Trojans, played a little third base. And takes the 2-0 pitch for a strike, and the count goes to 2-1. Last year as a junior, actually picked up a complete game win for the Trojans on the mound. We say tonight he's over at first base for the Trojans. Three balls, 1 strike as Tyler McCray tries to hold the Trojans right where they are here in the bottom of the third. Garza fouls that one back to the backstop again, and the count goes full at 3-2. Good look at the big first baseman. As that one will get a slow roller. McCray picks it up, flips over to Deo to retire the side, and the Trojans go in order in the bottom of the third. No runs, no hits, no men left on base. And at the end of 3, your score remains University 4, Waco 1. We'll be back right after this on WISD TV. Dede Norwood steps to the plate for the Lions in the top of the 4th, trailing 4-1 to University. A swing and a miss, and Cervantes goes up in the count. No balls, 1 strike. As we said, Dede's the only senior starting tonight for the Lions. And his twin sister not only plays left field for the Lady Lion softball team, but is also the only senior starting for that team as well. Norwood reached base on an error back in the first, but was left stranded as Cervantes was able to get out of it, giving up only 1 run. A couple of fielding errors in the first inning allowed the Lions to get an unearned run across. But University has roared back since then, taking a 4-1 lead, looking to end the first half of district play on a positive note. 3 balls, 1 strike to the senior, Dee Norwood. And Norwood will draw a walk to start the 4th inning for the Lions. Designated hitter Eduardo Lopez will now step to the plate for the Lions. Lopez, a junior playing for the Lions. Hasn't decided where he wants to go to college yet, but wants to major in speech pathology. When he's not playing baseball, says one of his favorite things to do is to spend time with his youth group at church. There's Norwood with a lead down at first. Pretty good lead, and Cervantes will step off and look Norwood back. Sun's gone down and the temperature's cooled off considerably at Veterans Field. Nice breeze blowing, and we are enjoying a nice evening in early April. As we said, a little warm at game time, but it's turned out to be just a spectacular spring evening for this crosstown rivalry between the Lions and the Trojans. Cervantes delivers. Lopez taking all the way, and the count goes to 2-1. Cervantes checks Norwood, delivers, and Lopez fouls that one off. Trojans looking to get their 3rd win of the season, 1st in district play. There's Norwood again with a big lead down at first. That one will roll right in front of the plate where it's fielded cleanly as the catcher, Locke, fires down to first baseman. It's going to go wide. And the Lions cut into the lead a little bit as Norwood comes around to score. The ball ran off the end of Lopez's bat up the third baseline. Julian Locke looked to see if it was going to go foul. It did not. Had time to fire down to Garza at first, but the ball sailed to right field. And with that, Eduardo Lopez goes down to second. Norwood comes around to score, and the score now stands 4-2 in favor of University High. Catcher D'Angelo Martinez looks like he squared up to bunt. Pulls back, and the count goes to 1-0. Martinez reached base on a walk back in the second. Courtesy runner Birch was stranded down at third. They couldn't get him across. And Martinez squares up again, but Cervantes is going to step off the plate. And look Lopez back. 4-2 here in the top of the 4th. Cervantes pulls back, but the pitch is there for a strike. And the count goes to 1-1. Good look at Coach Sol Ross. In his 2nd year heading up the Waco High baseball program. As that ball goes foul. We've said it before, Coach Ross really doing it right as he does what's necessary to build a program. The varsity 1-4 in district play, but the JV near the top of the district standings with a record of 4-1 at the end of the first half. Last night's JV game between these two teams, the Lions reported a 17-1 victory over the Trojans. So Coach Ross has a lot of depth in the junior varsity and in the ranks of the Waco High baseball program. Ball misses high from Cervantes. The count goes even at 2-2. Both pitchers taking their time tonight, being very deliberate on the mound. As Cervantes takes that one right up the middle where it popped up, and center fielder Abraham Franco drifts underneath it to record the first out of the inning. Cervantes probably a little fortunate there. Fastball right down the middle, a little high, but Martinez got underneath it, and it became a easy fly ball out for the center fielder Abraham Franco. Chris Deo stepping to the plate. Chris 0 for 1 tonight, grounding out the second back in the second inning as Chris will call time and step out of the box. There's your runner Eduardo Lopez, designated hitter, who reached on a ball that just got away from the catcher past the first baseman all the way down to that deep foul territory. Dayton Howard was able to hold him at second, but not until after D.D. Norwood came around to score for the Lions. 1 ball, no strikes, as Deo takes that one to third baseman Marcus Estrada, who checks the runner, and the ball scoots past Garza again. And Coach Ross is going to hold up his runner at third as it goes past the third baseman, and now the umpire's called time. As Coach Ross will get an explanation. As the umpires confer, the ball squared past, went into the dugout, the run will score. And Lopez will make this a 1-run game. And Deo on the error will go down to second. Looked like Estrada fielded it cleanly, the throw got away, and now Coach Ross is going to confer to see if his runner should actually be at third, arguing that he had already made the turn, was at second before the ball rolled into the dugout. The umpire says he had called it dead prior to Estrada making an effort. I'm sorry, Deo making the effort. And so Chris will stay down at second. And right fielder Xavier White will come to the plate for the Lions. Suddenly it's a 1-run game here at Veterans Field with the tying run in scoring position for the Lions. As Cervantes goes ahead in the count, no balls and 1 strike to outfielder Xavier White. We said Xavier's one of those WSB students taking advantage of the Advanced Manufacturing Academy, where they're learning a number of skills to make themselves marketable upon graduation, including welding and precision manufacturing. There's a look at your runner at second, Chris Deo, just a sophomore for the Lions. And White offers it the pitch, trying to get Deo down to third, but he reach and a miss, and it goes down in the count 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. 1 out to right fielder Xavier White. He'll call timeout and step out of the box. Both teams taking their time tonight, both offensively and defensively, as the pitchers have stepped off the mound a number of times with runners on, and had a number of hitters call timeout, step out of the box, and regroup. As White goes down swinging. And Cervantes records his 4th strikeout of the game. And center fielder Dylan Flores will step to the plate for the Lions. Flores, one of those strikeout victims, back in the 2nd. Dylan enters the night. Having scored 3 runs, lays that one down in front of the plate where it's fielded cleanly by Julian Locke, who fires down to Gabriel Garza for the out. Lions are retired, but they do get a couple of runs across. And at the end of 3.5, our new score is University 4, Waco High 3. We'll be back right after this on WISD TV. Right fielder Dayton Howard will get us started here in the bottom of the 4th. University High leading Waco High by a score of 4-3 on a nice early April evening out at Veterans Field. Howard struck out in his first appearance back in the 2nd. He takes that one low. Go ahead and account 1-0. Waco High had some action in the bullpen earlier as John Reyes was warming up, and it looks like Reyes has gone back down to the bullpen. But McCray has gone the entire way for the Lions up to this point. 2 balls, 1 strike. There's a look at Reyes. Second time he's gotten up to throw in the bullpen. As McCray misses again inside. And Dayton Howard ahead in the count 3-1. A hitter's count. McCray comes with the fastball. And the count goes full at 3-2. As McCray just misses on the full count, he issues the free pass to Dayton Howard. And the sophomore Jordan Rodriguez will step up to the plate. Jordan drew a walk, scored a run back in the 2nd. And it's seen a lot of activity at second base tonight as the Lions tended to go to right against the hard-throwing Cervantes. Rodriguez throws down a nice bunt up the third base line, fielded by the third baseman Adrian Gonzalez for the out. But on the sacrifice, Dayton Howard will move down to 2nd. Nice sacrifice bunt. Actually traveled well up the third base line. Gonzalez fielded it cleanly, but there was no chance to catch the speedy Howard at 2nd. And Rodriguez does his job as he moves Dayton Howard into scoring position for the Trojans. Center fielder Abraham Franco will now step to the plate. Franco with a single and a run back in the 2nd. And we'll take this one to right field where Xavier White makes the play. But Dayton Howard will tag up and go down to 3rd. Sure, Abraham's parents would like us to score that a sac fly, but we can't do it. And on the fly ball to right, Trojans have Dayton Howard at 3rd and designated hitter Joe Gutierrez at the plate. Gutierrez fouls that one out and out of play. Martinez made a good effort to get behind it, but it was back over the stand. Gutierrez, the leadoff hitter, DHing tonight. only has a couple of RBIs on the season, but it would be a nice opportunity here for him to pick up his third with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. As he takes that one to right, but Xavier White is there, and the Trojans get the leadoff hitter on board on a walk, but leave him stranded at third as the Trojans score no runs on no hits, 1 man left on base. And at the end of 4, your score remains University High 4, Waco High 3. And we know you've enjoyed all these spectacular camera shots from the WISD TV crew tonight. We want to take this opportunity to acknowledge some of the folks who are bringing you those angles. Down at our first base camera, there's Justin Sanchez, a Waco High graduate. And then up on the deck, there's Tyrell McSpadden. Tyrell doing the overhead shots tonight. And Jesse Maldonado on the third base camera. Jesse's daughter, Amber, another one I had an opportunity to coach at Laker Little League, along with our director, Jesse Boteo. And there is the truck. You can see Director Jesse Boteo there and Ricky Mazza doing the graphics. And it's a family affair. I've been able to coach Ricky's younger brother, Zach, and there I am in the press box tonight. In fact, Ricky's brother, Zach, won us a city championship at Lake Air Little League as he was on the mound and a powerful hitter now in his, I guess, junior year playing high school ball. I'll tell you what, talk about powerful hitting. If you've never seen Ricky's dad, Big Rick, on the softball field, he can crush the ball and is a real student of the game and a passionate lover of the game of baseball. As we're about to get balls in and get underway, Adrian Cervantes still on the bump for the Trojans, leading 4-3 against the Waco High Lions here as we get underway in the top of the 5th. For the 3rd time in 5 innings, Chris Garcia will lead us off. Chris 0 for 2 tonight, did reach on an error back in the 1st and scored the Lions' first run. And now leads the Lions in runs scored on the season. Chris takes that one to center field. Wynn knocks it down, and it's fielded by Abraham Franco for the first out. 1 pitch and 1 out here in the top of the 5th. And Bryson Shavers will step to the plate. Bryson 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout in the 3rd, but has been, candidly, the Lions' most consistent hitter at the plate this year. As Cervantes once again steps off. Now settles back in, gets his sign. Cervantes comes set, delivers, and Shavers takes that one right at shortstop. Andrew Gonzalez, who throws across to Garza to retire the speedy Shavers on the 6-3 ground out. And third baseman Adrian Gonzalez will step into the box for the Lions. Adrian 0 for 2 tonight. Hits have been somewhat of a premium for the Lions this year in this first half of district play. Adrian comes in on the night batting .195. With a slugging percentage of .317. And that one goes just foul outside of the bag and then to left field. Gonzalez turned on that one and pulled it just foul past Marcus Estrada down at third. Well, the Trojans had a 2-out rally back in the 2nd as they took the lead, extended their lead to 4-1. We'll see if the Lions can get a 2-out rally going here in the 5th. As that one will be hit to shortstop Andrew Gonzalez, who will field it cleanly for the line out, and the Lions are retired in order. So the Lions score no runs, no hits, no men left on base. In the bottom of the fifth, the Trojans will send to the plate Locke, Cervantes, and Gonzalez, and we'll be back with the bottom of the fifth right after this on WISD TV. Catcher Julian Locke will hope to continue what's been a very productive evening for the University High Trojans as we get underway here in the bottom of the fifth. Locke 1 for 1 on the night with a 2 RBI single back in the second. Got on base by a walk and scored a run back in the first. And we'll try to get the Trojans going here in the bottom of the fifth. Tyler McCray still on the mound for the Lions. We've seen John Reyes warm up a couple of times in the Lions bullpen, but Coach Ross deciding to stick with McCray in this one-run game in the bottom of the fifth. That one fouled off to the fence. And McCray will go up in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Julian remembers his first high school pickoff move as one of his favorite baseball memories. Actually threw down to second to retire a man trying to steal back when he was a freshman. Just a sophomore for the Trojans. When he graduates, hopes to study mathematics at the University of Texas. That ball hit back to McCray, who actually jogs about 80% of the way towards Deo before tossing it over to retire Locke. McCray, a big, fast athlete, plays for the Lions basketball team. Thought he could outrun Locke to the bag, but thought better of it. Ultimately decided to toss it up to Deo for the first out. Pitcher Fabian Cervantes steps to the plate, 1 for 2 tonight with an RBI. Fabian's thrown a no-hitter in his youth baseball career and is doing a nice job on the mound tonight for the Trojans. 1 ball, 1 strike to pitcher Fabian Cervantes, who would like to follow in the footsteps of Kevin Compton and Sol Ross and be a baseball coach in his own right when he graduates college. Catcher D'Angelo Martinez runs out to visit with McCray after the foul ball down the third base line. And McCray comes set, toes the rubber, here comes the delivery, and Cervantes fouls it off. You'll notice when we identified all the cameramen, we didn't tell you who's bringing those shots of the strike zone behind home plate. That's actually a robot camera that's being controlled from the booth. So we don't have a cameraman there. They're doing a great job of really, there's a shot of our robot cam that's bringing those shots of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cervantes. Both pitchers gone the entire way through 4.5. And the count goes full to Cervantes. McCray sets, delivers, misses low, and Cervantes is on base with the walk. McCray issues his 3rd walk, did have a couple of hit batters, and will have a courtesy runner enter the game.
for Andrew Gonzalez.
This is once again number 7, David Pena. There's a look with Pena with a lead down at first. That particular angle, it looks like the lead's really more aggressive than it really is. So he's being fairly conservative down there, but in that shot, he looks like he's getting way down the baseline. McCray steps and delivers, ball inside. He does take off, and David Pena will be safe at second with a stolen base. After the free pass issued to pitcher Fabian Cervantes. So the Trojans with a runner in scoring position with 1 out. And shortstop Andrew Gonzalez at the plate. Gonzalez 0 for 2 tonight. Hit into a double play back in the first and grounded back to the pitcher in the third. But now ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. And we'll get the free pass and on back-to-back walks. The Trojans will have 2 runners on base, and Coach Sol Ross is going to come out to the mound and visit with his senior Tyler McCray. We said McCray issued a few walks tonight. Trojan bats did some damage back in the second, but it's been very much a bend, not break performance for McCray, as he's never really given up a big inning. 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second. But both times was able to get out of it without too much damage, and the Trojans maintain a 1-run lead over the Lions here in the 5th. And it looks like we're going to leave McCray in. Ross talks to his infield with 2 runners on. That's going to leave his big senior on the mound. And left fielder Andrew Rodriguez steps to the plate. Andrew 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts facing McCray tonight, which probably factored into Ross's decision to leave him in. Because that one's fouled off to the fence, and McCray up in the count 0-1. The courtesy runner David Pena down at second, Andrew Gonzalez at first, and the Trojans with 2 runners on, 1 out, looking to extend their lead over the Waco High Lions. McCray delivers, and once again gets ahead in the count 0-2 to left fielder Andrew Rodriguez. We said the left fielder, just a freshman, who was honored to make the Trojans varsity as a freshman. So we've got a nice move by McCray as he was looking at the runner at second and then kind of threw off to the side to Deo at first. But Gonzalez back in time. And we'll reset. McCray delivers, and that one taken into foul territory by your left fielder, Andrew Rodriguez. Andrew hopes someday to play in the majors. And as you might expect, as true as most of these young men, says his favorite hobby is playing baseball. As he'll foul that one off into the stands down the right field line. So the Lions will have their only senior starter in left field, and the Trojans counter with a freshman starting in left field. The ball just misses as the throw down to third is high, and both runners will be safe. Pena went down to third. Martinez saw him, fired down to Adrian Gonzalez, but the ball was a little high, and Pena was safe at third. And then Andrew Gonzalez looked up and went down to second on the throw, and now the Trojans with 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. And Rodriguez strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. And the big first baseman, Gabriel Garcia, will step to the plate for the Trojans. pitch delivered. Garcia fouls that one off.
All right, back up some. Drop your hand.
Garza fouls that one off. Garza has scored 5 runs on the season. Looking to pick up his first RBI. As we said, Coach Compton shuffled the lineup a bit tonight, getting some players some playing time as the Trojans try to record that first district win.
Gabriel. Got 2 runs out there.
I know Coach Compton thinking this would be a nice time for Garza to not only pick up that first RBI, but the second RBI, as he'd like to see a little cushion between there's a good look at Coach Compton. Try to put a little cushion, a little space between themselves and the Lions here in the bottom of the 5th. And McCray will get his 3rd hit batter of the game. And suddenly the bases are loaded as the catcher, D'Angelo Martinez, looks like that ball came off of Garza, ricocheted down and caught Martinez on his throwing hand. He's sitting there opening and closing it, and Coach Ross is ready to make the change on the mound. As Coach Hurtado comes out to check on their catcher, D'Angelo Martinez. And while there's a break in the action, we'll take a break, step away, as we'll tell you who the new pitcher is for the Lions right after this on WISD TV. Number 20, John Reyes, now pitching for the Lions. Reyes making his 7th appearance of the season. Entering the night with 19 walks against 13 strikeouts. And a ERA of 6.46. And Reyes steps into a bit of a pickle here as the Trojans have the bases loaded with 2 outs. And right fielder Dayton Howard stepping to the plate. Howard 0 for 1 on the night. Did reach base on a walk back in the 4th. And we'll see if he can help the Trojans extend their lead here against the Lions in the bottom of the 5th. Reyes comes set, delivers, a nice strike on the inside half of the plate. Howard, another one, looking to pick up his first RBI of the season. With a slugging percentage of 143, it would be a nice time here to pick up a couple RBI for the Trojans. 1 ball, 1 strike to the right fielder, Dayton Howard. As Reyes comes set and catches the outside half of the plate with that one. Painting the edge and goes up in the count, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Dayton Howard. As John Reyes comes in with the bases loaded, retires Howard on a called 3rd strike. And the Trojans leave the bases loaded, stranding 3 runners in the bottom of the 5th. And our score remains University 4, Waco High 3. We'll be back right after this on WSD TV. Dede Norwood will get us started here in the top of the 6th with University High leading Waco High 4-3. And we've been joined by a special guest in the booth as Waco High Principal Ed Love, who is probably on duty tonight, but decided to keep me company for a little bit. And Coach Love, I mean, folks are familiar with, obviously, your work with Coach Toos on the football staff through the years, your success as a campus principal in the district. But some folks may not be aware that you actually were a baseball coach for the Lions not too many years ago.
Yeah, that's correct. It's been a while, but I really enjoyed my time here as a baseball coach, and I'm really so happy to see how well we have upgraded the facilities here. This is really an outstanding facility now.
You know,
they didn't look like this when I coached.
We've had we had an opportunity to talk to Jack Stanley, who you know is in charge of these facilities out here, and the new metal awning, which has created the shaded seating behind home plate, and the field itself has just been in spectacular condition. And they've, as you know, moved the fence this year and done a lot of improvements. And every year in the off season, Jack's out here making improvements.
Exactly. It is really nice. Very proud of it.
2 balls, 2 strikes to left fielder Darius Norwood. Edie takes that one to second baseman Jordan Rodriguez, who fires across to Garza, but not in time to retire the speedy Norwood, and the Lions are in business with leadoff hitter Didi Norwood on base, what I guess they'll score an infield hit, although Coach Compton wants to come visit about it, as he thought Rodriguez made the throw in time. And he will visit with our field umpire. I still want to call you Coach Love.
Still Coach Love. I just have a new position.
As you know, I've got a son who's a sophomore at Waco High this year, and this morning when I took him to school, you were standing out in front of the campus, as you are most every morning, greeting the students, greeting the parents, and he's typically there early for 0 hour. But today we got there at start time, and he commented that, in his opinion, you are one of the best principals he's ever had on a campus during his years in Waco ISD.
Wow.
And I thought that was...
I really appreciate that. I really do. I think it's important that the kids see the principal early, and that the parents see the principal as well. And you welcome the kids, and you also welcome the parents.
Designated hitter Eduardo Lopez fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. You know, you've obviously, I guess, been principal now of 3 campuses in the district in the recent years. And one of the things you seem to have done in a very short period of time is you have really earned the respect of the faculty and the staff, and have folks who really feel appreciated on that campus.
I appreciate that. And that's most important. It's kind of like the heart or the front line of your offense or your defense. I mean, people have to know that you care about them. The faculty and the parents and the kids, and that's what it's all about.
You're right. We can't do what we want to do in this district without the buy-in of the teachers and letting them know that we really appreciate what they're doing. That ball's popped up behind home plate and off the glove of Julian Locke. Julian chased it back to the backstop under the lights and just glanced off the end of his mitt. And Eduardo Lopez gets a second life. The count 0-2. We've talked a lot this season with a number of folks in the press box about the athletic programs and the foundation we're building at Waco ISD. But on your campus, there are any number of activities that students have an opportunity to participate in. We've seen some spectacular fine arts performances this year, and obviously a number of extracurricular activities.
Exactly. And we really have had a lot of success this year. I mean, just one program after the other. And matter of fact, just recently our soccer team, boys, first time ever winning the district. And then our girls program was soccer as well, did an outstanding job.
Lopez over to Marcus Estrada at third, and the throw's not in time, but Didi Norwood caught in a rundown between second and third. And now the umpire has made the call of, I guess, hindrance with the runner, saying the defensive player interfered with his effort to get down to third. He awards him third base, calls a dead ball, and Coach Compton once again comes out for an explanation.
Yeah.
Coach, what did you see?
Well, one of the guys in the chase, the rundown, after he threw the ball, he was still in the line of the runner. And if that runner makes contact with him, then he's automatically awarded the next base.
And on the dead ball, on the runner interference or hindrance, the Lions now have runners at the corner. And I guess that's catcher D'Angelo Martinez stepping up to the plate. Martinez 0 for 1 tonight, reached on a walk back in the second. And will score up to bunt as with the runners at the corner. The runner, Eduardo Lopez, went down. Looked like the throw was in time, but couldn't be handled by the second baseman. And now the Lions have two runners in scoring position, with Lopez at second and Didi Norwood down at third. Looked like the throw was going to be in time, Coach.
I think he dropped the ball on the touch, on the
just
tag.
Couldn't quite glove the throw, and the runners, as we say, the Lions now have two runners in scoring position. You know, D'Angelo, great kid. We said he's a junior, and said that one of his favorite baseball memories is this year getting to play with his younger brother on the Lions. That Adrian's the sophomore third baseman for Waco High. Yeah. Coach Compton goes to the mound to visit with his infield, trying to hold on to a one-run lead here in the top of the sixth.
And this is a good game. This is really a good game.
It's been very competitive. We've talked about it. Both pitchers have allowed some base runners on, but it's been sort of a bend, not break defensive performance. And anytime you're sitting here in the sixth inning in a one-run ball game, I think both coaches have to be overall pleased with the performance tonight.
Exactly.
Not too many crooked numbers up on the scoreboard.
Exactly.
Coach Compton finishes his conference with his infield, and Fabian Cervantes comes set facing D'Angelo Martinez. Said D'Angelo, a junior, been behind the dish 3 years now for the Lions. This has to be a mistake. He says his favorite teacher's Coach Freed. I can't imagine. Coach Freed's done some public address announcing for the team this year and done a great job for the Lions baseball team. Look down at Didi Norwood at third as Martinez lays down the bunt. Norwood's going to score easily, and everybody's safe on a spectacular bunt by D'Angelo Martinez. Pitcher Fabian Cervantes broke on it. Did not have a play at the plate. By the time he turned, D'Angelo was safe at first, and once again, the Lions with runners at the corners and a run in, and we're all knotted at 4 here in the top of the sixth. And sophomore Chris Deo stepping to the plate. One of the things we've talked about is how young Coach Ross's program is at Waco High this year, and he's got obviously a number of sophomores and juniors playing on the starting varsity squad, but really has a strong JV squad as well. They're 4-1 in district play, and he's really developing a lot of depth in his baseball program.
Exactly, and that's what you really have to do, and that's what most coaches' goals are, is to develop depth from freshmen, your JV team, your freshman team, and just continue to build from there. I watched us play Temple not too long ago, and we got behind, had one bad inning, but the thing that impressed me the most was that our kids continued to play. They didn't put their head down, they continued, and they ended up coming back making a game out of it. So I was very proud to see us continue to play and not give up.
I think you're right. I think Coach Ross has really had these guys battling all year in every game, and they've been competitive, and it's good to see Waco High baseball on the upswing.
Exactly.
1-1 to first baseman Chris Deo. Chris 0 for 2 tonight. Did reach on an error back in the fourth. Cervantes delivers, and with the runners at the corners, the runner will move down to second on what will probably be scored catcher's indifference. There was no throw. But the Lions now with two runners in scoring position. Look like Jared Fuller is probably your courtesy runner. As the ball's fouled off, and it's 2-2. Well, I know you're looking ahead towards the end of the school year, but as you reflect back on some of the things that you've been able to put in place this year, you've got to be pleased with the direction of Waco High with respect not only athletics and extracurricular activities, but the academics and really the whole culture of that campus?
Yes, we have made a lot of positive improvements, and we're only beginning. We have a lot of things that we're planning for next year already, and it's only going to get better.
Deo goes down looking for the first out of the inning, and right fielder Xavier. Actually, that's not Xavier White. Looks like Jordan Salinas is going to pitch hit. Folks at home are probably getting tired of me saying this, but I've had an opportunity to coach Jordan Salinas as well. Jordan was on a couple of teams I got to coach at Lake Air Little League, including one that won the city championship.
All right.
He was our second baseman. Also played on a couple all-star teams I got to coach. Coach Ross announces the substitution, and Salinas will step in to the box. Salinas batting .200 on the season, with a couple of hits, 10 at-bats, and 11 plate appearances. We're going from sort of the opportunity center to the middle school and now at the high school. I mean, in terms of your role, are there differences, or is it being the leader of the campus and really setting the culture the same no matter what level you're at?
Well, it's a lot different because the alternative schools, as far as the numbers there, you don't have as many kids. Carver Middle School is kind of like a small Waco High School, and then Waco High, it's such a large campus, and you have so many teachers and so many students, and it's just, there's a lot going on every day, and it's kind of like juggling Jello every day. But I really love it. This is a dream come true for me. I spent a lot of time at Waco High School as a coach and as an assistant principal, and I really feel very fortunate to have the opportunity to serve as principal at Waco High School. I'm very proud.
You mentioned your time as Salinas draws the walk. Suddenly bases are loaded for the Lions with one out here in the sixth. You mentioned a couple of years ago being at the alternative school, and as you know, my dear friend Wildeline Satterwhite was on the campus at that time and passed away right out a year ago, but she invited me out there on a number of occasions, and you were always welcoming, but what I really liked was the incentives you put in place, whether you were out there grilling hot dogs yourself to reward those kids for good behavior and really showing them that there were benefits and rewards to be gained by doing the right thing.
Exactly. Miss Satterwhite, she was a special lady. I have a picture of that I think she painted in my office right now, and I'm going to keep it for the rest of my life. She has a very special place in my heart. She was an outstanding teacher. And actually, I tried to get her to go to Carver Middle School with me when I went to Carver, but she turned me down.
We've got Ronnie Tristan pinch hitting for Flores with the bases loaded. Ronnie's father, AP, is a well-known baseball and softball coach in the area, coaching the Waco Heat softball program and coaching a number of Lake Air Little League softball teams. And I actually had to coach against him one year, and he beat me up and down the field back when Ronnie was a 12-year-old.
A good time for Ronnie to sneak one through the infield, get a hit here right about now. Be a good time.
And he does.
I might get over his head.
Center fielder fielded it, but on a long sac fly, the Lions will take the lead 5-4. Well hit ball. Looked like it was over the head of Abraham Franco, but Franco drifted back, played it well. As the wind knocked it down, Franco got underneath it for the out, but Eduardo Lopez will score the go-ahead run for the Lions as they take a 5-4 lead here in the top of the sixth. You asked one to squeak through the infield, and he did a lot better than that. But an outstanding play, though, by Abraham Franco out there to run it down. Lions now return to the top of the order, and sophomore Chris Garcia hit right back to the pitcher Cervantes, who will go to Garza for the third out. But the Waco High Lions scored 2 runs in the top of the 6th. And through 5.5, your new score, Waco High 5, University 4. Coach Love, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your taking the time to visit with us for a little bit.
Not a problem.
And
enjoyed it.
We will be back with the bottom of the 6th right after this on WISD TV. In the bottom of the 6th, the Trojans will send to the plate Jordan Rodriguez, Abraham Franco, and Joe Gutierrez as they try to get back the couple of runs that the Lions scratched across the plate in the top of the 6th to take a 5-4 lead in what has been really a well-played and competitive contest by both teams. Number 20, John Reyes, on the bump for the Lions. As John misses low with that one. And Jordan goes up in the count 1-0. Well, the University High soccer team dropped a playoff heartbreaker tonight to Springwood 2-0, and that will be the last Waco ISD soccer team to finish its season, but a successful year in all the spring sports at both schools, as that ball is hit to shallow center and Dylan Flores moves underneath it for the catch to retire Jordan Rodriguez. Abraham Franco will now step to the plate. Abraham 1 for 2 tonight with a hit and a run scored back in the 2nd. Last play was pretty special. Jordan Rodriguez is like I said, is a kid I've had an opportunity to coach through the years, as well as Dylan Flores, who made the play out in center. Reyes comes set and gets ahead in the count 0-1 to center fielder Abraham Franco. Franco came into the night batting .300. As he takes that one wide, Deo fields it nicely as John Reyes covers the bag. And on the flip from Deo, retires Abraham Franco. And with 2 outs, designated hitter Joe Gutierrez will see if he can extend the inning for the Trojans. As we said, Joe got off to a blistering start tonight with a stolen base, a run scored, and a single in his first 2 plate appearances before getting stranded at third. He's 1 for 2 on the night. And as we say, also reached base, getting hit by a pitch back in the first inning. 1 ball, no strikes. Gutierrez takes that one down in the dirt, goes up in the count 2-0. And Reyes misses again down low, and Gutierrez is ahead in the count 3-0. DHing tonight, Gutierrez also pitches some and occasionally plays middle infield for the Trojans. And on 4 straight pitches, he's issued a free pass. And with 2 outs, the Trojans have a runner aboard. And catcher Julian Locke stepping to the plate. Julian, another one, having a good night at the plate. 1 for 2 with a run scored, 2 RBIs. Also reached base on a base on balls in the bottom of the first. Looked like he thought about squaring up. Martinez looks the runner back at first. No throw though, as Gutierrez was not that far off the bag. Gutierrez takes his lead. Reyes comes set. And here's the delivery to Locke. And with no throw down, Gutierrez will take second on a stolen base. Martinez didn't have a good enough grip to throw down. And now the Trojans have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. And Julian Locke trying to see if he can cap off a great night at the plate by bringing in the tying run here in the bottom of the 6th.
Come on, let's get there, Joe.
Take a good look at your pitcher, Reyes. That one's fouled off to the fence. And Gutierrez will go back to the bag. Coach has come out to visit with Locke. Gets his instruction both from Coach Compton and the sign language interpreter. And we'll dig back in and see if he can drive in the tying run for the Trojans here in the bottom of the 6th. Reyes comes set. That one drops into the strike zone for a called third strike. Nice curveball off the hand of John Reyes. But that ball started high, dropped right into the strike zone, and the Trojans are retired, stranding the tying run down at second. At the end of 6, your score, Waco High 5, University High 4. We'll be back with the 7th inning right after this on WISD TV. Second baseman Bryson Shavers will get us started here in the 7th inning. Shavers uncharacteristically 0 for 3 tonight. He entered tonight second on the team in total hits and leading the team in batting average. But so far tonight has a strikeout and a couple of ground outs, and will try to get on base to see if the Lions can extend their lead here in the top of the 7th. An extremely competitive ball game. Both teams playing well. Both teams have had opportunities, stranded some base runners, as both defenses have come up with some key outs at some key times. And we'll see if Waco High can hold the lead here in the 7th inning. Shavers goes down in the count 0-1. As pitcher Fabian Cervantes has gone the whole way for the Trojans. And will need a little help if he's going to pick up the complete game victory. As we said, temperature close to 85 degrees at the time of the first pitch, but it's cooled off to a nice 75, 78 degrees. Nice breeze blowing out of the south. And it's a beautiful night here at Veterans Field. Shavers grounds out to Marcus Estrada for the first out of the inning. And Adrian Gonzalez will step to the plate for the Lions. The third baseman, just a sophomore. And getting some instruction from Coach Ross. No runners on. Probably the instructions were something like, get on base for me. The sophomore takes that one to sophomore Jordan Rodriguez, who flips over to Garza for the second out. And on consecutive ground outs, the Lions have 2 outs, and left fielder Dede Norwood going to the plate. Norwood 1 for 2 tonight, but has reached base in every plate appearance, getting some instruction from Coach Ross as they're once again looking at the baseball. As we started the game with some concerns about the baseball, at one point Coach Ross brought out about a half dozen balls and was sent back to the dugout. Looks like he's got concerns. Don't know that he's concerned that someone's doctoring the ball, but he's clearly very animated during this discussion with the umpire as another ball gets tossed. A number of balls have been used tonight, probably concerned as much as anything just with the condition of the balls. That's amazing. In major league games, you don't think about it, but you'll see a ball last sometimes just for 1 or 2 pitches. In fact, the average life of a ball in the major leagues is somewhere between 2 and 3 pitches. Coach Ross continues to plead his case to the home plate umpire. And looks like they're about to finish up. He probably didn't get the relief he was seeking, but we're back under play with 2 outs and Dede Norwood stepping to the plate. As we said, Norwood 1 for 2 tonight, scored a couple of runs, reached base during all 3 plate appearances, reaching on an error back in the first and drawing a walk in the fourth, and scoring 2 runs for the Lions as they have taken a 5-4 lead. That one fouled off into the deep foul territory, and the catcher tried to get to it. Julian Locke ran into Eduardo Lopez in the on-deck circle, and not quite able to track that one down before it fell to the ground in front of the Waco High dugout. Coach Hurtado giving some instruction. Get a look at Gabriel Garza, and Cervantes comes set. Nice pitch. Breaking ball catches the inside corner, and Norwood finds himself down 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to left fielder Dede Norwood as Cervantes comes back and blows a fastball by him to record the strikeout, and the Lions retired in order in the top of the 7th. In the bottom of the 7th, the Trojans will send to the plate Cervantes, Andrew Gonzalez, and Andrew Rodriguez, and we'll see if the Trojans can tie it up here or get the win in the bottom of the 7th, and we'll be back with the bottom of the 7th right after this on WSD TV. Sophomore Chris Deo will try to close this one out for the Lions as Reyes and Deo just swap positions defensively. Reyes goes to first and Deo goes to the mound. This will be Deo's 7th appearance for the Lions as a sophomore. Comes into the game with an ERA of 1.55, but perhaps most impressively, against 11 walks, he's recorded 29 strikeouts in a little over 20 innings pitched. As he'll take his last warm-up throw. And Martinez will throw down, and we'll see if Chris Deo can close this one out for the Lions. Part of the order coming up to bat for the University Trojans. Fabian Cervantes will lead things off. Fabian is 1 for 2 on the night with an RBI single back in the first, and reached on a base on balls in the 5th, drawing a free pass. And Deo comes set and delivers and just misses outside. And the count goes 1-0 to Fabian Cervantes. Cervantes looks like he's going to bunt, but comes back, hits that one to Shavers, who throws over to John Reyes, your new first baseman, and Reyes couldn't quite glove the toss. Reyes just moved from pitcher to first, and Cervantes, as your pitcher, will be replaced by courtesy runner David Pena again. And Pena will be down at first with no outs And Andrew Gonzalez stepping to the plate. Andrew 0 for 2 tonight, do a double play back in the first. Reach base on a walk in the fifth. That walk issued by Tyler McCray. The go-ahead run at the plate for the Trojans, the winning run at the plate for the Trojans. And David Pena down at first. Deo steps off, looks back and flinches, but they're going to call him for the balk. And with the balk charged to sophomore Chris Deo, David Pena will go down to second, and the tying run is in scoring position, and Coach Ross is going to call a timeout, wants to come visit with his infield and with his young pitcher. As we said, Deo been one of the bright spots on the pitching staff for the Lions, entering the night with an ERA of 1.55. It looks like Coach Ross, one, wants to settle his pitcher down after the balk, but also just reassure his defense nobody hurt and that they need to get 3 outs and get out of this thing. But the Trojans looking to get the win here in the bottom of the 7th. The runner in scoring position and no outs. And shortstop Andrew Gonzalez stepping to the plate. As Andrew pops that one up, second baseman Shavers drops back right in front of the right fielder Xavier White and fields it nicely for the first out. You know, Gonzalez remembered his favorite memory was her comeback win against Joshua earlier this year, trying to see if the Trojans can get another comeback win and their first win in district play. Jordan Pettis will pinch hit for Rodriguez as Deo comes set. Delivers just low and outside. And the count goes 1-0 to number 9, Jordan Pettis. Seems like a broken record tonight, but Pettis, another sophomore, has got quite a bit of time at shortstop for the Trojans this year as Deo comes set. And misses low again. And Pettis ahead in the count, 2-0. Deo delivers and gets the strike. Runs the count to 2-1. Jordan having a productive year at the plate with an on-base percentage of .432. Has driven in a couple of runs for the Trojans this year. Looking to pick up his third RBI, which would be a timely RBI for the Trojans if the sophomore can deliver right here. 2 balls, 1 strike. We have sophomore facing sophomore. And that one outside, and the runner will steal third. And the tying run is now 90 feet away for the Trojans. David Pena got a good lead, broke on the release. And D'Angelo Martinez's throw was a little high to Adrian Gonzalez. And the umpire goes out to visit with Deo.
Take that plate.
Deo comes set. Jordan Pettis. They full count. Pettis draws the walk. And with runners at the corner, The senior Gabriel Garza will step to the plate for the Trojans. Cervantes got on base. Pena stole second as the courtesy runner, actually got the second on the balk and then stole third. And the Trojans suddenly have the winning run on base. And Deo delivers to Garza. Garza 0 for 2 tonight. Did reach base back in the fifth when he was hit by a pitch. Comes into the night with a .385 slugging percentage. Coach Compton hoping he'll deliver the fake throw from D'Angelo Martinez to see if he could lure the runner off at third. And now the go-ahead winning run in scoring position for the Trojans with 1 out and Gabriel Garza at the plate. Big lead down at second. And Garza strikes out swinging with the tying run at third, the winning run at second. Right fielder Dayton Howard will step to the plate. Howard 0 for 2 tonight. Drew a walk in the fourth, but got stranded down at third. And we'll see if Howard can deliver the runs needed here to either extend the game or win the game for the University High Trojans. Howard has delivered a game-winning RBI in the past, sending the Trojans to the playoffs 3 years ago. See if he can do it again tonight. A little deja vu. He's looking to get the game-winning RBI, or at least a game-tying. And a swing and a miss, and Chris Deo does the job as the Trojans leave 2, including the go-ahead run down at second, and the Waco High Lions celebrate for getting their second district win and end the first half of district play on a high note, getting the win tonight 5-4 over the University High Trojans. A competitive game by both teams, as it was a back and forth affair that ultimately the Lions, plating 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th, were able to pull out. Once again, your final score, Waco High 5, University High 4. Waco High will get its second win and finish the first half of district play with a record of 2 wins, 4 losses. University High will drop to 0-6, and both teams will get set for their second half play in District 17 5A. On behalf of Director Jesse Boteo and the entire Waco ISD television staff, this is Pat Atkins saying good night, everybody, from Veterans Field as Waco High wins 5-4 over the University Trojans.